My name is Sean Thomas, and I'm the author of Be More Today, a 40-day guide to a better version of you. As doctor of physical therapy, I've seen thousands of people do great things. They came to me with ailments, physical ailments, pain, issues, and they got through them, all because they decided in their mind they were going to do it. And I guarantee you, if you just trust the process and be persistent, you too can be the best version of you.
Welcome to the Be More Today show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our show today. Now, let's hear it from our host, Dr. Sean Thomas.
What's going on, folks? What's going on, folks? It's your boy here, Dr. Sean Thomas, back on the Be More Today show. We are back in the building. And folks, we are here in season number 7 in the best month of the year. Yes, March, baby, stand up. It is our time. You already know it's been a great month of March, and we bring out the sun, we bring out the greatness in the spring season with the weather getting better, the flowers blooming, and the Be More Today show continuing to be out there and inspiring others to be more today. Our theme for this year has been consistent, nix and fix in 2026. And we've been doing that since day one with my book, with our More merch, my second book, Project More, Steps of Greatness Challenge that's out there right now. Sign up for that actually starts April 1st. So if you want to join us for our step challenge, visit BeMoreToday.com to be a part of the movement. It is a great way to get moving, especially now that the weather's getting better and people are outdoors doing what they should be doing more because the snow is finally gone. So for more information about that, you can email me again at info@BeMoreToday.com or again, BeMoreToday.com for all things related to this show. Our show continues to grow and it's been such a blessing, man. We are now heard, yes, drum roll please, in 101 countries. 101 countries. We hit the 100 mark and we are now at 79,000 downloads. Again, thanks for love and support. This show continues to grow. And shout out to our sponsor, Spy Belt, for always giving us great swag, but being supportive of the show since day one. Kim and her team does a great job of making a great product, and I will be rocking my Spy belt for the Boston Marathon next month. Yes, it is here. Shout out to our sponsor, Jag Physical Therapy, for always continuing to be our healthcare provider in the tri-state area. Again, if you're looking to get back to life that you love, Jag PT is the place to be. So check us out at jagpt.com for all things PT related, OT related, and athletic training. We are your providers for that. And our monthly patrons, I appreciate you always for giving to the show. Your help never goes unnoticed. Thank you so much. Again, for those who don't know and do know, I have been raising money for Stride for Stride. Stride for Stride is an organization that gives free race bibs to immigrant and BIPOC populations. And we've been raising money all winter. We've been trying to raise $9,500, and we just crossed the $6,000 mark. And I'm super excited because we have about $3,000 to go, but we still need your help. So if you want to be a part of the Stride for Stride team with me, again, they give free race bibs to BIPOC populations, immigrant populations, and they give free mental health also to all of their runners who are a part of the team. So you can check the show notes and the link to give to the show if you so feel inclined. $5, $10, it never goes unnoticed. I appreciate you in advance. Our quote for today is simple as always. We glorify the start and fantasize about the finish, but the middle is where the real skill is built. If you can learn to stay in the middle, you can build almost anything. Now, this quote is poignant for me because I've been trying to build a lot of things this year. I've been trying to do a lot of things this year, mixing and fixing in my own life. And I just ran the United half marathon a couple weeks ago, and it was great. But I'm just trying to prep for Boston and do all these things. I'm doing High Rocks in May and all the other things I'm trying to do. And I see people online posting these things about what they're doing with High Rocks finishes and marathon finishes, and even like personally, like people getting new houses and doing all these other things. And we fantasize about the finish. And we glory about starting stuff. I want to start this and do these. Even our Nix and Fix theme, it's all kind of the same. But the middle is really where all the stuff happens. That's where all the training goes down. That's where all the skill is built. That's where you learn to stay in this focused lens to make sure that you can get your foundation and be consistent for the big finish at the end. And I just want to encourage you guys to go out there and continue to stay in the middle, continue to keep pushing, and continue to stay focused on whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever they may be. And my guest on the show today is someone who thrives with others who are also in the middle. He's someone who I've known for a very, very long time, and I've seen him um, in the span of my life at many, many different chapters. I've seen him in high school, I've seen him post high school, and I love seeing him on the courses now as we continue to run together. His name is Jose Bravo. Jose Bravo is a certified personal trainer and one of the guys who I want to have on the show today to talk about the great things he's doing for those who are also trying to thrive in the middle. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage my guy and the man with the man, Jose Bravo. Jose, what's
Oh,
going on?
oh man, thank you. That what an intro. No, everything is good. Just want to first and foremost say thanks to God for this opportunity and just again, thank you for the chance to just chop it up. I thought it was so funny that little intro because that's exactly how we greet each other when we're out in the races, right? You're yelling out Jose Bravo, and I'll yell out Sean Thomas, and just over the years, especially as we've gone through our run journey together in our own spaces, it's one of the things I look forward to.
Yeah.
I look forward to having that happen. But yes, really grateful to be here today and just chop it up with you,
Yo,
share what I
listen,
know.
I am so happy to have you on. It's been so great to see you. And listen, so for those who don't know, I talk about Choate a lot on the show. We went to a high school called Choate Rosemary Hall. It's a boarding school in Connecticut. People are like, oh, boarding school. What? Were you in trouble? No, we love to go there. We love going
It
there
was
with
a
the great
choice.
experience. It was a choice. Exactly. We chose to go there. And you and I were, we were friends, but we also were in a group called Basic. We
Yes.
were in a hip hop b-boy rap group called Basic, and you and I rapped and danced together with a number of other people from Choate, and it was an experience that I think catapulted me into doing like more performance stuff later in college and whatever else. But for me, and I don't know about you, it was life changing because it got us a chance to really just go on stage and just wow out and just be
Yeah.
us and perform and to showcase hip hop to an environment of people that might not have really been exposed to hip hop
Right.
in their
Right.
lives, but it was
Right.
dope. It was dope.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like you said, we were in a space that perhaps was at the beginnings of getting to learn about hip hop, and that was more through whatever they saw on music videos. I think MTV. I remember going to the SAC just to watch videos.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but to be able to actually showcase that and to showcase not only what was put out there commercially, but really get to the roots of it, right? When we were b-boying and breakdancing and then tag teaming with rappers on
Yeah.
campus, um, and then doing that in front of the entire campus. uh, you know in many ways similar to your story, it catapulted that performance aspect for myself. um, I went on to continue to dance in college, and I actually started singing in college. But that was the foundation of it, and to do it around and with just like-minded individuals, right?
Yeah.
Like it brought us together, like hip hop unified a bunch of us across, countries. Like
Yeah.
we had people from all over the place, and it was dope. I
Yeah.
mean, it will always stay as a treasure in my heart.
Yeah, basic crew for life. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen.
And then, it's funny because you and I ran into each other. Actually, I think you saw me first at the Lola Challenge. And I forget the year
Yeah,
that we were out there in Puerto Rico, but for
I'll
those who
have to
may
look at my medals, but
yeah, right, right. Yeah, you're able to see the years. But Lola Challenge is again is a 5K, 10K half marathon weekend. That is usually in the summertime, but I think they moved it now, but to make it a little less with the weather. But I saw you in Puerto Rico at this race.
yeah.
Yo,
Uh,
Jose,
af-
what's going on?
After so many years, we run into each other at the start line of
Yes,
the 5K.
yes,
And I think it's just a matter of like turning around, and there you were.
yeah,
And speaking to my now fiance, who was there with me, in Puerto Rico, and I was like, I know him. And it was just so great. And what I loved about it is honestly, it was like we didn't miss a beat.
Right.
We went right back to how we were in high school.
Yeah.
And just catching up. And I think from there, I think God has blessed me, with running into you in the moments that I needed the most. And if you want to touch on that later, we can touch on my marathon and how you came through for me.
Oh no. Yeah, we're definitely.
But Lola was amazing. I mean, that humidity was no joke.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico. I guess that's why they moved it, but whatever.
Yeah.
We went through the tougher parts of the
Yeah,
run.
exactly. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
So listen, I know, it's been awesome seeing you in many different ways now. And I know that
Right.
you have been running with the Boogie Down Bronx, right? The Bronx
Yes.
Runners. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about your crew, because we've had a number of crews on the show before. We've had Forest
Okay.
Park Runners and Black Men Run and Teamwork and whoever else, Best Side Flyers. And you're the first Boogie Down Bronx runner we've had on the show. So I wanted a second to talk about the crew, talk about you, and even how the marathoning began for you, because I know everyone's marathon journey is interesting and very, very special. So yeah, let's talk about running a little bit. Let's get it.
All right. So I'll talk about the crew first. So Boogie Down Bronx Runners, one of the amazing crews here in the Bronx. Always welcome to come. We're located at 785 Pelham Parkway. So if you're looking at a map of the Bronx, it's right in the middle, maybe a little bit more towards the north of the Bronx. And so what we do, especially on Tuesday, one of our big things is the community runs. And the focus of our community runs is just that, community. So we welcome people of all experiences, of all ages, right? We have older adults running with us, and we have kids running with us. And what we do is we take that time to introduce anyone who shows up really to the art and skill of running, right? And because we know that people come in with all types of ideas of what running is, right? You see it in whatever's being marketed out there, right? Like if you can walk, you can run. And while we think that's a good initial step, we want to make sure that they don't enter something where they can hurt themselves, because it is a skill. And so we try to provide a safe environment for them to run in. And so we run in our local communities, which, if anyone has gone through a community run, is one of the greatest experiences. It's kind of a mini version of a race in which you'll just randomly get cheers along the way and honking of the horn, because they see you actively taking a risk on yourself, right? Taking a chance on yourself, which is a beautiful experience. And and so that's what we aim to do. We just first aim to make you feel part of the family. From there, we do have our track options on Thursday, and then our long runs on the weekends. So yeah, it's something that I fell in love with the moment I saw it. My journey with running actually started after the pandemic, if I'm being honest. I was always into fitness, but as we were slowly getting reintroduced to the outside, I just wanted to be there. I wanted to be outside. And so took up running just casually, and I ran into the Boogie Down Bronx Runners because I didn't realize they were just a few blocks away from my house.
Yeah.
I ran into them, didn't join them because I didn't know what a run crew was about. But seeing other runners, it definitely inspired me to sign up for a race. And it wasn't until I did a run by, I don't know if Pace Runs still exists, but okay. But so they did a Juneteenth run in Brooklyn. And it was there that I actually officially met Boogie Down Bronx Runners. And then the rest is history from there. It's been great ever since. I'm now one of the co-captains of the Boogie Down Bronx Runners, which is awesome. And then, it eventually led me to running my first marathon, which was in 2023. And this is where it connects with you. I remember just in my experiences leading up to the marathon, there were just certain points in my race where I needed assistance or support of some kind, and I connected with you, and you were like, "Man, I'm going to be in Brooklyn." I believe it was around mile 7.
Yep.
I was like, you were like, "What do you need?" And you don't know how powerful that was, because as much as you are running with tens of thousands of people, there are moments in that race where you could feel alone,
Mm-hmm.
and not having a familiar face can be discouraging. And to
Mm-hmm.
know that without batting an eye, you were like, "Yeah, I'll be right there. Look to me on the runner's right, right at the
Mm-hmm.
turn.
Yeah.
What do you need?" And you came through, and so that medal um, is dedicated in part to you.
Mm.
So I just wanted to, take this time to say thank you for that. Um, but it was it was everything I needed, right? You came through, hyped me up for the rest of the way through Brooklyn, then over that amazing Queensboro Bridge.
Right. Right.
And then through, was able to finish the race with a time I was proud of, for what you are, what you led the show with, right?
Yeah.
Embracing the journey.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been about ever since. It's been
Wow.
about that, just embracing the journey. And if you live there, you'll be surprised at how many more destinations open up for you.
Yeah.
It goes beyond the one that perhaps you initially focused on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, I appreciate that. And yeah, we're always at mile 7 for the race. Every year, our Spartan Sunday Run Crew, shout out to Ishmael Torres, my co leader for that group. But we're always there at mile 7 for all the runners. And we look forward to shouting people out. I mean, that is part of our ministry. Like, we go out there and we say, we're going to cheer on our people and everybody else. Anybody that we
Right.
know, we're going to cheer. And we're
Amen.
there first run into the last runner. And then we go to the city and we cheer on at mile 25 point whatever at the very, very end. And
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Nice.
it's a whole day for us, because we really, anyone who's done the marathon, like you said, you need someone to be there for you, just to be like, yo, you got this. And that
Right.
little
That's it.
push, that
That's
little
all you
push
need.
gives you the extra mile to go to the next mile and the next mile. So we're always out there, my wife included, my daughter included. Every year we're there from beginning to the end. And we will continue to do that as long as God gives us the strength and energy to do it. So
Amen. Amen. Yeah. Well, Boogie Down will always be at what they call the wall. So we'll be at
yeah.
20.5, right as you're on 138th. So if you ever get to that point and there's a party happening, that's usually where you'll find me.
Oh
If
yeah,
I'm not
no.
running, that's where you'll find me.
We've seen Boogie Down, and the party is real. Yes. And we love to see it. We love to see it. Listen, you and I share commonality, and we both are alter ego um, ambassadors, and we both are runners, clearly. But the one thing that you differ from me, sir, on is the Speed Project. And I've seen the Speed Project
Yes.
many, many videos, and it's been very, very enticing. But I have not looked into it, nor have I signed up for anything related to it. But you've done it, so I wanted you just to share
Uh,
a little bit with the listeners what the Speed Project is all about.
yeah. So the Speed Project is an unsanctioned race that happens around this time. It's like late March into April. And it is a run that starts at Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles. And the end goal is Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you want to follow what they call the OG route, which is where the original group that took off, their route is about 340 miles. And when I say it's unsanctioned, it is unsanctioned, which means pretty much there's really only one rule, right? Just don't run on the highway. You can't run on the highway. Other than that, there are no other rules, and there are no spectators, which differs from a lot of the races that you and I have run and that most people come to know, right? They see the fans come out, the support. This one is very different in that there is no one out there. It is you and your team. And you can choose to run it as a team. And so I've been fortunate to run it twice with my teammates from Boogie Down. But I also know of runners that have done it solo. And so they trek out and they run the 340 miles by themselves through all different types of terrain. We've gone through mountainous regions. We've gone through the city. You definitely will run through the desert.
Mm.
And then finishing right at the Las Vegas sign.
Wow.
And so, but what makes it special is that it strips everything away. It There's no crowd, as I said, no hype. It's just you, your team, and as you mentioned, the middle, right? The work that you put in. This is where it all comes into play. I will say it tests your mindset, and it shows you how you show up when things get hard. And I think that's where I'm a big believer that you either get a blessing out of it, right? Everything comes through, or you get a lesson. And in that, there is another blessing, right?
Hmm.
We continue to learn about it. And that's what it was. I can say that especially the first time around, I had done all the physical training. So I was ready to do my part with my team. I think what I had to learn from that experience was the mental aspect of it, because I didn't have my headphones at all times, because sometimes it's not charged, right? You don't know what happens, so you don't have the music. And plus, you want to be aware of your surroundings. It's a completely new scenario from, in my case, New York City.
Hmm.
Um, and so you really start to deal with the voice inside your head. And the voice inside your head can become your biggest cheerleader or your biggest critic,
Mm.
right? And you sometimes don't know which one will come up, because I'll keep it on the eye. I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy listening to the crowd. So I drown out that voice inside. And so I had to learn how to meet myself where I was at, learn to love who I was at that moment, and then transform that critic into a supporter. Um, and I can imagine other runners go through that during especially longer distances. Um, so it was such a beautiful thing that I was excited to do it again 2 years afterwards.
Mm.
I ran it last year.
Mm.
So
Wow. Wow. I'm
that
getting.
was a lot. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. It's perfect because again, this is for me uncharted territory. There's been no like, oh yeah, that's crazy. We should do that, and then it ends there. But to have someone who's actually done it and experience it, it sounds like it's life changing. I definitely connect with the mental because you do training runs in the middle of the night, early morning. It is quiet. It's dark, but that's New York City. Running in
Hmm.
the desert. That's that whole scenario for me is just different. But I could definitely see that being a mental strain, and the fact that you've done it twice is kudos to you, sir. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's
Thank
dope.
you. Thank
That's
you.
dope. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit more about this quote that we talked about today about staying in the middle.
Hmm.
I do think that seems to be a recurrent theme, not just in terms of running, but in terms of also life, right? Like, so,
Right.
how do you really stay focused and consistent in the middle for training? For, you as a certified personal trainer, I know you see
Hmm.
a number of clients who come in, as I
Right.
see clients with me as a physical therapist, right? And they have all these goals, aspirations, dreams, hopes, wishes, things they want to do. Some are real attainable goals, some are like
Right.
kind of lofty, but you make a plan for them and then you're focused on what they should be doing, but they might not be focused on what they should be doing. So, what do you tell your clients, or even for yourself, tips
Hmm.
on how you can stay focused and consistent in this middle ground of I'm not where I need to be yet at the finish line, but I'm
Right.
definitely past the start. So I'm moving forward. What do you say to some of your clients, even yourself, to stay focused and consistent in the middle?
Well, first I want to meet them where they're at, right? Because I know that motivation, which we could perhaps label as the start, I know that brought them, let's say, to me. And I know that whatever their ultimate goal is their destination. And so I want to meet them where they're at, and I want to support what it is they are looking for. I think what I try to do is I approach them with always a place of honesty, right? I'll say, this sounds like a great goal. What does your timeline look like? If this is what we want to do, this is what it'll look like, but it'll require a certain level of, let's say, discipline or consistency. And so I want to map it out for them so that they get a realistic sense, right? Set the structure in place for them, because I know that when they come in, they got their idea from someone else,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's social media, those get fit quick routines,
Right.
and they automatically apply it to themselves. So we have that conversation first. And then what I try to do is I try to set up a structure that has very specific components to it, right? So the first thing I try to do is I just try to keep it simple with them. I want to simplify it because, at least from what I've seen, and I'll just keep referring to social media um, here, is there's all these exercises, super complex routines, involves supersets that the average person, if they are not even trained in the technique of it, can really hurt themselves. So I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm going to meet you where you're at. Let's simplify it. If we want to work our way to there, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. I can't wait for you to get there. But for you to get there, I need to make sure you can do this first,
Yeah.
right? So we're going to keep it simple. And then by keeping it simple, I think it lends itself to being something that it's consistent, that allows consistency. All right. When we overcomplicate our routines, our schedules, at one point or another, something's going to have to fall off. So if we can simplify it, make it consistent, and make it something that they can actually do. And what I mean by that, it fits into their lifestyle,
Mm.
right? Um, One of the things that I've seen, because a lot of my clients are runners, because
Mm-hmm.
that's who I'm around most of the time, they they'll come to me and they'll want to do the strength training, but then they'll also want to run 5 times a week, right? And so, like I said, I'll meet them where they're at. I'll say, okay, which one is the priority?
Yeah.
Do you want to become stronger, or do you want to be able to, do well in your endurance run? And then we'll modify it. They'll want to go to the gym 3 to 4 times, but if their priority is running, I'm going to recommend, hey, let's start with one.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can hold one. Let's
Yeah.
see how it fits with your lifestyle. Because if it doesn't fit with their lifestyle, it's gonna be another reason to fall off. So
Mm-hmm.
as as a trainer, like I said, I'm gonna try to knock off as many reasons for them to fall off as possible. So it's like, well, how do we approach this, right? Oh, um, their schedule is overwhelming. Okay, we're gonna pull back strength training. So anything that I can do to help them remain consistent. And then I want to also make sure this, I think this is the last part, is I want to make sure that it becomes part of their identity, right? So I want them to inject a little bit of who they are into it. So you mentioned you were training for high rocks, right? And so I know high rocks is a lot of CrossFit type moves. And so if I were your trainer, and we were working on just getting your foundational strength to support your joints, I would find a way to include some of those movements, right? I want to make it specific. I want to tune back into the initial motivation that got you through the door, right? And then I want you to be able to own it, right? I want you to not just come to me to work out. I want you to think of yourself as an athlete. Like, there's a difference between working out and training.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can get you to train and to believe that you are the athlete that you are becoming, um, then simplify it for you in a way that you know lends itself to consistency, then I think it's a win-win for everyone. So that's usually my approach, right? I think if I were to sum it up, I would be doing my part to train discipline over motivation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that. I completely agree with that. I think the discipline is probably the hardest part for many people to really take seriously, because motivation is quick. The High Rocks, especially for New York, when the High Rocks came out, the sign up for it, there were like thousands of people on the site. The site crashed, like
Wow.
Roadrunner site crashes sometimes for these races, right?
Right.
The site crashed
Right.
like immediately because there were like 6,000 people who were trying to sign up, and um, people were getting in the queues, and the hype is so real. But
Right.
yeah, like you said, once you sign up for that thing, it's like, yeah, it's great. I'm excited for what's happening in May. What happens between now and May to make sure
Mm,
we're prepared for that thing? I think, like you said, a lot of people they get They get lost in the discipline of really trying to train for these things. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I see also in my profession with my patients coming in. I think once I feel better, as now
Oh, I
I
love
feel
that
pretty
line.
good. I'm like, okay,
Right.
so are we gonna stop doing? The question's always, how long do I have to keep doing these things? It's like, well, this is now part of your life. Like, if you want to
For
keep
life,
doing what you
is
want to
that an
do,
appropriate answer?
yeah, this is the new you. And no one wants to hear
Right.
that. I got to keep doing these things forever. I'm like, I
Right.
mean, kind of to some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do something. So I think there is a concept of, I did this and now it's done. We apply it
Hmm.
to life, but when it comes to fitness and whatever else, it really is lifelong, consistently, and lifelong learning to maintain what we're trying to do. So I think that's a hard pill for people to swallow.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm curious how that came about. Um, that just the mentality, because I mean, maybe it has to do with the way how quick we're able to receive answers from things online, and so we've normalized getting our answers quickly. Therefore, our results should come just as fast.
Hmm.
And and I think that's something that I can imagine in your space, as you mentioned. It's something we're battling. We see it even with our runners, right? They're so focused on the medal
Yeah,
at the end, but not the work that comes into it.
yeah.
And so I'd love to see if we can get a group of us to collectively find a way
Mm,
to combat that, because I think they'll it's a much more powerful experience going through the journey. As I mentioned, you'll come to find parts of yourself that you just didn't pay attention to
yeah.
before. Beautiful parts of yourself, and then areas in which you can improve on. And so it's a cycle more than a straight line, right? There's
Hmm.
start finish, and for me it's more like a circle. I love I can't remember his name, but he's always on the Nike Runs app. Um, and like if you've ever done any of the guided runs, at the end of it, he says, "I'll see you at the next start line."
Mm,
Right? So even if you completed something, there's just another start line
yeah,
coming up ahead, and I think that's what it is in life as well.
yeah,
Um, once you accomplish something, more paths open up, and then you have a new adventure ahead of you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I hope people come to see it that way. I think they'll get a lot more out of it.
Mm,
Will it be easy? No. Will it be worth it? 100%.
yeah, yeah. I can agree with that completely. Listen, I think a lot of people focus on training programs, and everyone's always like, "Oh, what are you doing? And what do you eat? And what do you drink? And what are you doing?" So we focus on all these things because we see people doing so, especially if you're someone like you, right, who's in a fitness space all the time, right? They want
Right.
to know what program you're following and what program I'm following, whatever else. So,
Hmm.
out of curiosity, I knew you were doing some kind of a training program. I think you posted on your social that you
Right.
and your fiance were doing some kind of a training program, and you were getting through the days of it on day this, day that. What program are you doing right now currently in terms of your
Yeah.
fitness?
Awesome question. So I am following a program from it's a group of personal trainers. They have their own podcast as well, Mind Pump. And so what attracted me to that program was this idea. They created a program that is called MAPS 15, right? And the 15 part of it, MAPS is what they call all of their programs.
Hmm.
So, but the 15 part of it is what got me, because their idea here is you're only doing 2 exercises a day, for 6 days. So the exercises themselves should take about 15 to 25 minutes to complete. And after 12 weeks, you're supposed to get, specific results. And so for this specific one, my fiance and I, we just wanted to work on getting stronger. And so what we started with was we got our personal bests on the main lifts. So we focused on the deadlift, the back squat, the bench press, and the overhead press. And so those were the main lifts that we were aiming for. and we were going to test this program out. I was like, I'm used to going to the gym an hour and a half a day. Maybe it's 3 times a week. And for someone to tell me that they can aim to get me better results than the program that I'm working, that I've worked with in the past, but just 15 to 25 minutes a day, as a father, right? As a
Right.
fiance, as someone who works, 9 to 5, I said, bring it on. I would love to, because if this can work, I think it's something that I would love to share with those around me, especially runners, right? Especially those runners that want
Mm-hmm.
to dedicate most of their time to running,
Right.
right? If there's a way that I can say, okay, can you get into the gym for 15 minutes? Can you do 2 exercises?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll even uh, attach it to your hard days. So we make your hard days hard and your easy days will be relaxed.
Right.
I think it could be such a great opportunity to be able to inject strength training into a lot of the runners. And I'll just speak for the community that I'm with. It's their focus is running, 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 and then they're getting injured in the process and not understanding why, or they're bonking and they're saying, "Oh, the only solution is more running." And I'm like, no, it's not the only solution. There are other options as well. What if we could strengthen your joints? What if we can, strengthen your lateral movement, right? Runners think, oh, it's a race, so it's
Mhm.
point A to point B. You think a straight line when, you and I have both experienced, especially at the start line. We're
Mhm.
moving side to side
Yeah.
for that first mile and a half.
Yeah.
Um, and then, you know, the runners will be like, oh, I have IT issues.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, have you trained laterally? They're like, no. I'm like, okay. So
Right.
yeah, so we're excited about this. And I will say we're not done with it just yet. We'll be finished by the middle of April with the 12 weeks. Um, but sneak peek, we have been pleasantly surprised. When I tell you my deadlift has gone up almost 100 pounds, and I'm not a big guy, and so I love it. I'm excited to see what our personal best will be at the end. So
Mhm.
we're going to be releasing, again, very honest feedback. We're not sponsored by anything like that. We're giving people um, insight into what we're learning, and that's what I love. Like, I don't do it for the likes. I mean, I love it. That's cool, but that's not what we're doing it for. It's more, hey, I have some information. I'm going to test it out. If it's something you want to know more about, hit me up. I'll share my experience with you. Um, if it's not for you, cool. You now have another resource should you ever want to try it in the future.
That's dope. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, yeah, looking forward to hear those results, man. That sounds good. And
Yeah.
if they're that good, I'm gonna have to hop in there myself. Shoot, we'll
Yeah.
see what's
Hey,
going on.
man, I'm here for you. I'm
Yeah.
here for you.
Listen, Jose, I know that we talked about our quote today, but I just wanted to know if you would share just one tip or two for those who are, again, just trying to stay in that middle ground, that middle area, and to stay consistent. As a personal trainer, you see a number of people who come in with a lot of excuses. And
Yeah.
I think excuses can sometimes be one of the main things that helps us or hurts us in terms of reaching our real goals. So, what are some tips or even one or two tips you can share with the listeners about staying consistent? Now the weather is nice outside, the snow is finally gone. The excuses are now getting lower in terms of why people should not or should be outside. But
Right.
even with that, people can always say, I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that. So what are some of the things that you inspire your clients to do to be able to make sure they can stay consistent with their own goals?
Yeah, 100%. I think the first one is, I think it's to meet yourself where you're at. I think that's the very first one. We live in a comparison culture, and so um, I would first tell them to drown that noise out, and to honestly meet your current version of yourself, and because it's from there that we can then map out where you want to get to, right? And we can set a structure in place um, for you to get there. So that'd be the first one. Drown out that noise, meet yourself where you're at. I think the second one is to then surround yourself with like-minded individuals. I think that's a power. Community is so powerful. I've learned that through the running space. Before I went into Boogie Down, like I mentioned, my runs were just solo runs, and there's just so much power in being in a space of like-minded individuals. um, I'll even connect it outside of running to the spiritual aspect, right? There's nothing like being in service um, with those of like mind. It's there's just power behind it, there's comfort behind it, there's safety and security and trust, right? So drown out the noise and meet yourself where you're at. Then I would say surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I think at least what I've seen, some individuals are afraid to ask questions, and I just remind them. I say the silliest question is the one you just don't ask, and so
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to ask it. Right. The worst thing I could tell you is I could just confirm what you thought.
Yeah.
Right. But the beautiful thing is that I can now provide other options for you, right? And I'll say that to individuals, like you said, we're battling with the winter storm, which I was, by the way, and I couldn't get to the gym. It didn't mean my workout stopped. It means I just had to change them. So I'm indoors now. Can I do body weight? Yeah, I can do body weight. Can I do 5 to 10 minutes as opposed to 15 to 25? Yeah, I could. But knowing those options they didn't just magically pop in my head. I had to ask someone. And so, again, putting yourself in that space where you can communicate with someone, right? I'm sure individuals hit you up and say, hey, I'm having this nag here. What's something that I could work on? And really quickly, you can answer that. But had they not asked you,
Mm-hmm.
they're stuck. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my gosh, I'm hurting. Here we go again. Game over. And then lastly, just believe in yourself. There's so much power in belief. Believe in yourself, um, and believe that you can accomplish it. All right. Um, and love the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
That's my last one. Love the whole process. So getting back to what we started this whole conversation with, just loving that middle part, loving where you're at. And I'm really confident that you'll not only achieve what you set out for, but you'll achieve so much more along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, Jose. I think that's a great way for us to end the show today, sir. I really appreciate you being on. And listen, where can people follow you on social media or otherwise? How can they connect with you in terms of personal training? Give us all those details.
Yeah, so the best way right now is going to be through Instagram. So that's at jbrav023. So JBRAV023. And that's where I'll just post my general stuff. But look out soon. I'm going to be opening a separate page that'll just focus on fitness education and training, kind of giving tips. So once that's open, it'll be in my bio. So once that opens up, I invite everyone and anyone to shoot any questions, ideas. It's going to really be something that's catered to the audience, right? It'll start off as just general fitness tips, but if there are runners out there that want to know more about what specific strength training exercises they can incorporate, I can create information on that. Um, if there are those that are just specifically into strength training that want any ideas, any kind of workout tips, it's there. My goal, I feel my mission is to provide everything that I know and put it out there, right? Anything I can provide for free so that those that do have access to material can benefit from it, and those that have perhaps very little access to any kind of equipment, they can also reap the benefits of fitness. I think if we can have a healthy community, it just lends itself to just something amazing for not only the individual but for the generations that are to come. So that's, and then being from the Bronx, which I don't know if you've seen that hashtag not 62. The Bronx has been the county that's the unhealthiest. So
Mm,
so we can chip away at that by providing resources and information and spreading the news that fitness is is a free option for everyone.
yeah.
I think it would be so incredible for all of us, especially those in underrepresented communities.
Dope. Dope. Jose Bravo, thank you so much for being on the show today, sir. We really appreciate it. You have made this one for the books. And again, just for the audience to know, Jose Bravo!
Sean Thomas!
And I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there. I don't know what
Yes.
your next race is, but whatever it is, I see you on the
Brooklyn
course.
half.
Brooklyn half. Okay.
Brooklyn half.
I might be out there cheering. I'm not running Brooklyn half this year. I usually run it, but I'm not running Brooklyn half this year. But
I wouldn't tell you to run it after you got Boston, you got High Rocks. No, you need to
just
you
chill,
need to
Chuck.
be the light on the course for us
Right.
runners.
Yeah, I'll be on the course for sure, cheering with you guys. For sure, but I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for being
I
on the show today.
appreciate you. Blessings.
Yes, sir. And we'll connect. We'll connect.
All right, you got it.
Folks, I am full. I mean, that's my guy, Jose Bravo. He's such a stud, such a light, and I'm very, very grateful for him. And he gave us so many gems today, talking about staying in that middle zone, staying focused, staying humble, giving yourself grace, and doing it for you, and just finding ways to make it practical. Um, a quote from today was really, really poignant, and I want you to remember it. We glorify the start and fantasize about the finish, but the middle is where the real skill is built. If you can learn to stay in the middle, you can build almost anything. Keep pushing, folks. Keep striving, and we will see you next week for Viewer Today's show. Again, shout out to all the March babies out there. March is the best month in the year, so I salute all you guys who are March babies like me. Let's keep striving. And now the weather is out here. No excuses. Go out here, continue to be more today, and continue to nix and fix in 2026. We'll see you next time. Peace.